Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. Now, a lot of the motorsport action from the start of 2022 has come from the Middle East, namely the Formula 4 United Arab Emirates Series, Formula Regional Asian Championship and the Asian Le Mans Series. We'll start with Formula 4. A lot of these youngsters are just starting out in their car careers, and many of them will hope to end up in Formula 1 one day. However, there's a lot of practice needed for that and a lot of luck. But as I said, a lot of these youngsters are still learning their trade. Mistakes are expected, as Michael Shin finds out when he gets nudged round by a competitor. Vladislav Ryabov had an interesting series. And it also goes to show that getting four of these youngsters together at the same time can cause absolute chaos. It takes a few years to learn that 4 into 1 just won't go. And there might not be space for everyone. Still, it's a brave move, and it almost worked. But I think he left something behind. Alex Dunn almost got this move done, but in the end he just took out Martinius Stenhouse on the way. Suleiman Sinfari had an interesting series, but it's our friend Vladislav Ryabov that gets into him around here, but somehow they both managed to survive. Aidan Neat was a title contender at one point, but this is again Martinius Stenshorn getting into trouble and making sure Aidan Neat doesn't finish the race. Joseph Loke spins in the back, but luckily this track is about 9 miles wide, so there's plenty of space to avoid him. Still, it's best not to be broadside in the middle of the track. Now here's just some general carnage, and again it helps that the track is at least 12 miles wide here. It means all these cars can have these little incidents without anyone else getting too badly damaged, except the one car that gets left behind. As you can see from this angle, the cameraman almost missed it, but you do get a nice view of the nose cone flying into frame and back out of it again. And here's Ivan Dominguez spinning in the background. Antonelli decided to have his crash off camera, but you can see the damage. Here's Pingasov and Shin again, spinning in the background. It's a shame there weren't more cameras. We move on to their bigger brothers in the Formula Regional Asia Series. It's hard enough racing on 4 wheels, let alone 3. And everyone else is very lucky not to collect the rogue wheel. It's Sally Ulich and Khalid Al-Kabaizi. And it's Al-Kabaizi who comes off worse. Gabriel Mini and Dino Begonovic were 2 of the favourites. And here they both are spinning out. And here again, they still haven't learned that 3 into 1 doesn't go. It's Hadrian David, Pepe Marti and Cembuluk Bazi. And 2 of them will not be going any further. Now there's nothing scarier than a stalled car on the grid, especially when you see something like this. Luckily everyone was okay, but a lot of damage was done. Now here's Nicola Marinangeli having a little spin on his own, and again lucky not to be collected by anyone. And here's Thomas Ludl, already leaking water out the back of his car, decides to get a bit too close to a competitor. He ends his race in the wall. And here's Thomas Ludl again. This time, spinning on his own. Now here's Hamda Al-Khabazi. Maybe just a little bit too quick. Now it's always hard to avoid an incident at the start when you've got so many cars around you, but Gabriel Mini tries to fly his way over the pack. He's very lucky to get away with that. Same concept, too many cars into the same corner at the same time, and it's Oliver Bearman and Paul Aron who both go off the track. And here's Francesco Braschi being very over optimistic, and he's left behind. Now here's champion Arthur Leclerc spinning in the background. Luckily he did it out of everyone's way, and he can keep going as well. And there's another car spinning out backwards. Whilst just round the corner, Amna Al-Khabazi spins on their own again. And I think we'll leave her to turn around and move on to the Asian Le Mans series. Sports cars do it just as well. Here's Rodrigo Sales leading. Everything looks like it's going fine until he does this. Torsten Kratz should maybe have been a bit more patient in a 4-hour race, but 10 minutes in and he's having a little spin after being again a bit over optimistic. And here we have a spinning Mercedes at the start of another race. This one's surviving. There was something about the Mercedes cars which didn't seem to have a lot of luck. Here's Hubert Hopt getting hit by a Ferrari. And even though it wasn't his fault, it's the Mercedes that gets left behind. Now here's Gabriel Rindoni. He's going to have a little spin all on his own. Again, very lucky not to be collected. Unlike Sebastian Alvarez, who decides to modify the back of his car. That's probably not very aerodynamic anymore. And here's Vincent Abril. Not entirely sure what happens. I'm guessing a little nudge from one of his competitors and it sends him spinning into the tyre barrier. But we'll leave the Middle East now, with plenty of more motorsport action to come in 2022. It was the United Autosports team that took the win and the championship. And as they come round to complete their final lap of the final race of the series, I'll remind you that you should subscribe to the channel, leave a comment with your thoughts, tell a friend and leave a like. Thank you for watching and have a good one.